Hi, I'm Jennifer. Would you like to know your English level? Are you low or high intermediate, B1 or B2? Maybe you're closer to advanced, C1. Take this grammar test. Answer 15 questions. I'll explain the answers to help you learn. Let's start. Choose the best and most natural sounding answers. 1. Answer: I noted that some of my colleagues were scrolling on their phones during the meeting. The past progressive expresses a past action in progress. Scrolling was ongoing. It wasn't a completed action. 2. Answer: Ever since I started going to sleep earlier, I feel more rested in the morning. The simple past here expresses a completed action. We use a specific point in time after the adverb since. In contrast, the present perfect is used for the general past. 3. Answer: I love that restaurant. I've been there 3 times already. I can't wait to go again. The simple past refers only to the past, but the present perfect can suggest that an action will likely happen again in the future. 4. Answer: Professor Nelson, will you be holding office hours next week? We can use the future progressive for polite questions about future plans and events. 5. Answer: She said she'd see the movie again, and so would I. So, lets us form an affirmative addition, and it requires inversion of the subject and verb. If a statement uses a modal verb, then the addition uses the same modal verb. In this case, we can use so would I or I would too. 6. Answer: My brothers and sisters haven't traveled abroad, and sadly, neither have I. Neither creates a negative addition. We can say neither have I. The structure requires inversion of the subject and verb, and whatever helping verb is used in the first part of the statement is used again in the addition. The other choice is to use either with a negative verb. I haven't either. You can say either or either. Doesn't matter. 7. Answer: You really don't know when he'll be back, do you? The main clause is you really don't know. So that's what we must base the tag question on. Remember the rule of opposites. If the main verb is negative, the tag question will be affirmative. If you find this test to be helpful, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Thank you. 8. Answer: The flag was raised at the start of the day. The passive is formed from transitive verbs, verbs that take an object. We raise a flag. Raise can become passive. Was raised. Rise is an intransitive verb. The sun, for example, rises on its own. Rise cannot become passive. 9. Answer: we asked when we could visit again in the future. When we report a question, it has to revert back to statement word order, subject plus verb. When can we visit again becomes when we could visit again. The modal verb can backshifts to could in reported speech. Take the full test on reported speech to review more patterns. 10. Answer: this movie, which is the last part of a trilogy, didn't do well in the theaters. We use the relative pronoun that in identifying adjective clauses that give necessary information. If the adjective clause provides only additional information, then we use the relative pronoun which for things, and we set off the adjective clause with a comma, or commas if it's in the middle of the sentence. 11. Answer: do you remember the summer when we worked at the ice cream shop? We can use when as a relative adverb, and it helps us form a relative clause about a time period. Relative clauses are another name for adjective clauses. They help us identify or describe something. 12. Answer: I'm so hungry. I should have eaten breakfast before I left for school. A perfect modal with should helps us express regret. When we feel sorry about something we didn't do, we use should have done. We must use the past participle of the main verb, should have plus past participle. 13. Answer: that's completely impossible. That couldn't have happened. The modal verb could expresses a weak possibility in the affirmative, but in the negative, it's very strong. Couldn't have refers to past impossibility. We use the past participle of the main verb. Couldn't have happened, couldn't have done, couldn't have been, and so on. 14. Answer: dinner won't be ready if you come early. Remember that future clauses do not use will. Use the simple present. 15. Which sentence is correct? Answer: I would never have finished on time if you hadn't helped me. We generally do not use will or would in the if clause. In an unreal past conditional, we use the past perfect. if you hadn't helped me. The result clause uses a modal verb, most often would, plus have, plus the past participle. I would never have finished. Congratulations, you finished the test. What's your score? Remember, mistakes are part of learning. Where are you now? And what do you need to study to get where you want to go? Here are my suggestions. If you made 6 or more mistakes, your level is B1 or lower. Watch lessons in my basic English playlist, lessons 66 to 120, to review more. If those lessons feel easy, move on to my intermediate grammar lessons. I have playlists on verb tenses, reported speech, adjective clauses, conditionals, and more. If you made 2 to 5 mistakes, your level is probably B2. Continue to watch my intermediate and advanced grammar lessons. If you made 1 or no mistakes, your level is probably C1, low advanced. You can review topics as needed in my grammar playlists. Please also watch my lessons on vocabulary, pronunciation, and conversation to work on other skills. I invite intermediate and advanced students to join my monthly live streams. Learn with me live. But you'll get even more interaction and feedback if you join my English with Jennifer community on Patreon, where we practice all skills for confident, effective communication. The link is in the video description. That's all for now. Thanks for watching and happy studies.